Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And today, as of recording this video, there are no patch notes, there's no update, there hasn't been any hint or sniff of any sort of announcement for upcoming content. We're expecting Apocalypse right around the corner, but we can't see his big purple head yet. So in the meantime, I thought now would be a great time to take stock of all the shit, all the stuff, all of the things that Netmarble should make changes to that currently exist in the game, because as much as we do need new content to keep the train going, it's always nice when Netmarble takes a look at the other train cars at the back that are old and rusty and they give them a new coat of paint. Hello Captain America, hello some of the other changes that they made recently, chaotic ISOs, etc. Now, I have a loosely an idea of how I want this to flow, but the most important thing in the game that is probably the easiest to fix and also the one that would make people the happiest would be character rebalancing. Netmarble months ago said that they were going to try to make more character rebalancing updates in between the content updates and the pushes for new patches. Maybe they didn't say that and I just imagined in a fever dream that they said it, but they should have said it if they didn't say it, and if they did say it, they haven't done it. We got a update to Daredevil, which was a joke, and not much else. The last time characters got updated was Spider-Man and Iron Man, and that was like, it was pretty good, but they could have gone further. And there's still a laundry list of characters that are absolutely dumpster, to excavate a very old meme. They're very bad, and basically people are just preying on Netmarble suddenly buffing them for no reason, or they're actually praying for a movie uniform to make those characters viable and even approximating, not even exactly, but just coming closer to their level of power and importance in the comics. You know, there's a long list, but just off the top of my head, I don't have this part scripted, boys. Ultron needs help really bad. Everyone's waiting on a uniform for Hela, for example. Misty Knight could get one. She's going to be in Luke Cage Season 2. She's got the new bionic arm. She needs a lot of help. Hawkeye is still the worst Avenger, without a doubt. Gamora is still bad despite having 2 uniforms. There's more characters in the Speed class. They did no justice to the Man Without Fear. And the list goes on. Lash. And there's just more and more characters. You know, Nebula, Kingpin. Jessica Jones is probably one of the biggest offenders. Her and Blade are just abysmal. So I think Netmarble should definitely slide at least 3 or 4 characters. They don't need to coincide with the update. They can come before, but if they're going to be with the update, they don't even need to be thematic, you know, whatever. They can just be villains because Apocalypse is a villain. Woo! It doesn't really matter. Hey, Apocalypse has 2 arms. These characters that are getting their rebalancing have 2 arms. That makes sense, right? Boom, there, done. Aside from the character balancing, I think the next most pressing issue that the community wants to see is reward rebalancing or reward buffs. And this primarily has to do with 3 pieces of content that I feel the end game community has latched onto and has pointed to as being grossly underwhelming, and with good reason. I've made videos about these before specifically, but I think the biggest offender is probably Alliance Conquest. I know it's not everyone's favorite game mode, but given the amount of time that you spend if you participate in 2 out of 3 waves, which is a lot to ask, but that's reasonable in some sense. You can't participate in all 3 because you need to sleep, but participating for 4 hours minus prep time every day, you know, for the amount of days that Conquest is on, it's 3 or 4 days straight, is brutal. And for 2 million gold and like what, 150 XP tickets, wow. I know that the Alliance XP is good, and the mementos are also good for donating and then getting those red Alliance tokens that you can then use towards items, but even that, you donate like 50 tokens and you get like 7 of the red ones. It's not even a good trade-off. Like, gold is way better to donate. So the Conquest, either the amount of time that goes into Conquest needs to change and be reduced, or the rewards need to be doubled or tripled. You know, giving 2 million gold over a week is not a lot, Netmarble. It's like less than 300,000 gold a day by my very rough math. The second game mode that I think should be buffed a little bit World Boss Ultimate. It's got a lot of other problems, but I think the biggest one is the stage rewards. And on top of the whole meme surrounding, you know, phase 1 versus phase 3, everyone says, oh, you know, do the harder phases, you're going to get better rewards. I don't really see that, sorry to say, but doing phase 1 still gets you shit rewards 90% of the time. And the rewards are actually worse than World Boss. Now, while I understand that on some level, you do want the World Boss rewards to be decent because it's where new players are going to start to get that ball rolling for Black Antimatter and Chaos Nornstones. It's also a bit disheartening to see that, for example, the phase 4 reward for some of this stuff is like 1 legendary Uru. It's not even mythic. It's 1 5-star Uru. It could be physical defense. Do you know how bad that is? Speaking of bad rewards for difficult content, hello Shadowland. Holy shit. That's bad. And I made a video very recently about it, so I don't want to belabor this point, but stages 26 to 30 are pretty much a glove slap in the face for how bad the rewards can be. Yes, you can be one of the lucky people. Oh, Cynicalex, I got really good rewards from Shadowland. Good for you. The majority of the community is getting stuff like 4-star ISO for spending half an hour trying to beat stage 29. They're getting 150,000 gold. Wow. The pool of items is far too large, and the number of shit items is like half of the total pool. So that's just way too much garbage in there, and it should really be reduced. You know, giving us the option between the hand chest or the daredevil chest was cute, but then they both suck ass. So you're basically telling us to suck ass or suck a different kind of ass. I just don't want to suck any asses, okay? I'd rather have my lips without an ass to suck. Just give me decent rewards, and I will feel good again about stages 26 through 30 of Shadowlands. Stages 1 to 25 are still pretty fun, and the rewards are still pretty decent, but then after that it falls off a cliff while the difficulty soars into the mountains. And you know what? You raise me up, but not in the right way. The rewards need to be raised up. The last thing, and I think the thing that people are not really going to maybe agree with me as much on, but I do think it does need some addressing, is kind of PvP balancing. There's just a very large gap. There still exists a really huge gap between the top tier PvP characters and then everyone else. And there's a large portion of that mid tier that has uses and has value and stuff like Conquest, but these are very small snippets in time where they're useful, like Songbird, like Squirrel Girl. They get used for a minute, 30 seconds, and then they're gone. They're either on defense or they were defeated, and then you won't see them again for, you know, minimum 8 hours, more likely 24 hours if you don't revive them, and otherwise they're pretty useless. And I think Netmarble tried to take a step in the right direction with recommendations and restrictions, but the community very quickly realized that this is just a pattern, and every 3 weeks there's no restriction like we have now, and in the other 3 weeks it's a very predictable list that they're just recycling. So they kind of half-assed this part of the thing. And this part of the thing was to encourage us to play with other characters. It was encouraging the meta to kind of have some variety and not just be the same 10 characters grouped into 3 being rotated in and out. And that's basically what it is. Week 1 of Timeline might as well be called the Thanos week. Week 2 is the Dormammu week. Week 3 is the Jean Grey or the Doctor Strange week. And then week 4, kiss your sweet ass that was sucked goodbye because it's no restriction and you're going to get pounded and blasted 50,000 times. So I think they can do more for the rebalancing. I don't know if it's going to require some deeper tinkering, that maybe with obelisks, maybe they need to reduce the potency of obelisks specifically in PvP, the way that they boost HP, kind of to counterbalance things, because, you know, 200% damage procs on Jean Grey and 5-second obelisks, it's just, there's not a lot of room for the mid tier, and it basically pushes the best ones up to the top, and everybody else gets pushed down. And, you know, Timeline has been a chore for most of the community for the last few major updates. I'm talking like 6-8 months. Timeline has not been good or fun, and that does need to change, because it happens every day. It happens 10 times a day. It happens twice, 20 times in one day. So it really should be a source of fun, given that it's one of the only PvP type modes that we can consistently play, because even new players can't do Conquest, most people don't do tournaments, and then that's it, you're done. The last two I want to talk about are probably more like pipe dreams. They're probably never going to happen despite how easy they might sound. I do really wish that Netmarble would improve the way to play together with the game modes that are supposed to be played together. So specifically, they created this tab called Co-op, and yet it's impossible to play with your friends or anyone that you know or would like to know in real life in World Boss Invasion. I swear, every single time that I log in and I do World Boss Invasion, I get drooling noob #1 and I get Reddit moron #2. And these people either don't know how to play or they just suck at the game, and it's a clusterfuck. And I have to either solo it myself or I have to wait until the server disconnects me because we failed the co-op mission. Because surprise, they don't know how to read, so they don't know how to read the co-op mission. Clear the stage with more than 2 male heroes. I'll bring in 1. Both of my partners in crime will bring in 0, and I'll have an aneurysm on stream. So I would really love a button that just lets me invite my alliance, invite people from line. Why can't I just invite people from the general chat group? I'm in channel 2 of German. I would love to play with some Germany peoples and sausages and beer and stuff like that. Co-op as well. I've had quite a lot of issues lately trying to join other people's co-op groups despite having like 10 different people send me invitations through line. You know, when someone goes out of their way to play with people and they follow all the steps that Netmarble has put in place and it still doesn't work and it tells me it's been disconnected, it gives me some random error, and basically, you know, 25% of the time it's smooth and the other 75% of the time it's crunchy. I didn't pay for the crunchy peanut butter, Netmarble. I paid for the smooth peanut butter. Just give me the smooth peanut butter, give me a smooth co-op experience, or change this tab from co-op to play with random people and pretend that you're playing with people you want to play with op. The last thing is dimension rifts, and people talk about this quite often, and Netmarble has essentially never addressed it. Rift leeching. I want to know who's in my rift, and I want to know how much they're contributing to the rift. It's very easy. I'm sure this information is not hard to have show up. You know, you reward people who have high VIP level by giving them better rifts. High VIP level means you're paying money to, you know, play the game at your own pace and at your own, with your own experience. Why can't I pay more money to get more information out of my dimension rifts? These bros are VIP 15. They're legendary whales, and they don't know who's in their legendary whale rifts. I want to know who's jumping into my pink hole that I summoned, or purple hole, or whatever. Just tell us. Give us a little bit of information and it goes a long way. If nothing else, I hope Netmarble takes at least one of these suggestions to heart and shows it off in the new update, whenever that's going to be, hopefully soon, because the uniform sale is about to end and that's usually when stuff goes down. So hopefully when this video drops, you guys will be leaving comments telling me, hey dumbass, go check out Mobarum. We're gonna get a new character, surprise, it's Dr. Bong. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of my ideas for important things that Netmarble should include with their updates. I'm not talking about new content here. I'm talking about looking at the existing infrastructure and maybe making it just a little bit better. So let me know what you guys think, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.